Hi, and welcome to today's Wix eCommerce webinar. Today, we're going to discuss how to plan your holiday season marketing. I'm Melissa, head of Wix eCommerce community, and I'm thankful for you guys all joining us today. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to make your store ready for business in terms of website optimization, as well as best SEO practices for online stores, how to bring traffic to your site, and also how to increase that email marketing open rate and make sure that it's good and more engaging. We'll also be going over Wix Facebook ads as well as PR. Welcome, and we're so happy to have you here. Today, we're joined by a plethora of amazing people. One is our Wix top merchant, Lavondra. Lavondra is coming from L. Johnson. Lavondra, why don't you give us a kind of kickstart us off and let us know a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm super excited to connect with everyone on today. My name is Lavondra Johnson, and I am the founder and creator of L. Johnson Company. And what we offer at L. Johnson Company is botanical-based luxury skincare. So it's a luxury line based upon plant ingredients for your skincare. So we offer a range of products from cleansers to moisturizers to scrubs and serums. So anything that you can think of as it relates to skincare and self-care is what we sell at my brand. My personal background is in branding. My current brand is 3 years old. However, I have been an entrepreneur for 16 years. And prior to having my brand, I helped many other brands to launch successfully, whether it be a product-based brand or just their personal brand. So branding has always been a love of mine. And it's, one of the things that I pride myself on doing and loving. And I'm just excited to share with you all today, about how that came to be and any tips or tricks that I can provide.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, I'm a big fan of skincare, so I'm super excited for you to be here. We also have an amazing group of Wix experts and team members. First, we have Dania, who's actually a Wix partner, Asaf Rotem, who's head of marketing for Wix eCommerce, Amit, who is a product manager for Wix Promote, Rona Davis, who heads PR for Wix.com, and of course, Melissa, who's head of community for Wix eCommerce. Asaf, why don't you just jumpstart us, kind of like tell us a little bit about Wix and what we can expect to be different this year. Obviously, we're all aware that this year is a bit odd for all of us. So I'd love for you to give us some sort of insights of what will be different this year. How can we prepare?
So the short answer is that everything is going to be different. And the longer answer, I'll just run through real quick the Wix numbers, and then we can dive into those slides. So Wix, we have a bunch of users worldwide, more than 5 million premium users. Specifically for ecom, we work with more than 500,000 active stores all across the globe with thousands of cool features, some of which we'll share today. But there are plenty more to dig on and learn and help them grow your business. In terms of the holiday season, so I think, this has been a crazy year for everybody, but especially if you're in e-commerce, you've sort of been in the eye of the storm. We've seen many things changing, the consumer trends, the categories that have grown, other categories have died out completely. Retailers who are struggling because of physical restrictions to open the store. Countries and municipalities really focus on maintaining the pandemic down, which obviously makes things difficult for them and force them into e-commerce. We've already seen major chains announce that they will not do the regular Black Friday sale. So we hope, we won't get those videos of people fighting over TVs or other consumer electronics, which is a bummer, but staying safe, I guess, is most important. And another thing that we're seeing is that, the bigger companies plan to start much earlier. So Amazon just announced that Prime Day is going to happen in a couple of weeks. Those things typically happen later in the month as we approach Thanksgiving. That's when things really pick up. But there are many other challenges just because this online season appears to be the busiest ever. People talk about almost like projections are almost double last year, which is unprecedented. And it sort of requires us to think on how to address those challenges early on, such as inventory, how to deal with shipping and fulfillment when everybody is doing online e-commerce, and how to deal with refunds properly. So there's a lot of things that we want to address and help our merchants succeed. It's not going to be easy. I do think it's doable, and if you plan to, reach your sales goals and cruise through it, you have to start early this season. For us, we have the holiday season playbook, which is, it's a very thorough ebook that our entire team wrote. Just go to Wix eCommerce /holiday-season, and you can see it there. Download it. There's a lot of things on what to do and when to do that will help you gain a lot of insights, and an unfair advantage is what we are trying to provide. And the competition is going to be steep this year. There's no doubt about it. Many retailers are going online, which just adds to the mix of the traditional e-commerce businesses who are also firing on all cylinders. And just a couple of anecdotes. So already in August, we've seen gift stores, almost 6 times in terms of the sales when you compare them with last year. So we can really start seeing some of those trends that you would expect only in the later months, maybe October and November. These things are already happening. So you have to start now if you want to be in the game when things really heat up. And some of the other cool stats that we have gathered here. These are the categories that we've seen growing tremendously. I'm sure that none are a huge surprise. So you can see here the gift shops, clothing and apparel. Obviously, everything has moved online with so many retail stores closed. Food and beverage. I think all of us have tried, not only tried, but have dramatically changed the way we do shopping for almost everything. Home and decor, pet care. People really love their pets and really are ordering more and more online. And that's pretty cool. And people also love their babies and kids, and they also shop a lot more for them online. And so what I wanted to sort of go through in the next few minutes is some strategies for this holiday season. For us, everything starts with the data. So you should look at how your business performed in the previous year, and then assume that this year is going to be twice as busy. And you have to be prepared to adequately plan 3 things for sure. One is your inventory. Look at your supply chain, find bottlenecks, make sure you get there early, and early means right now. There's not a lot of time left, so you have to get going. The second thing is obviously look at your revenue goals and be honest with yourself, what's possible and what's real, especially looking over at the past few months, not only at last year. And last thing is the marketing budget. Make sure it properly supports your revenue goals. Don't just throw out numbers there that will never connect. And if you don't know how to do it, then definitely hire an agency to help you over the next few months. Agencies can ramp up things quickly and they know how to do their work. But however you do it quick and assign resources in terms of time and money for that. Next, go over the shopping experience. I cannot stress how important this is today. I've written here some of the bullets that we thought are super relevant for the holidays, but this is something you should be doing constantly, like revisit every quarter. So the first thing is obviously to optimize your storefront. You want to have a very clear and concise call to action and make sure it's pixel perfect on mobile. Add chat to engage visitors, both in terms of offers, but also in terms of customer care and other things, and answering their questions. For the holidays, I think most people expect free shipping. Think about it. It works well to entice, especially first-time shoppers. And I think people, that's my personal opinion, prefer to pay a little bit extra and get the free shipping as opposed to getting a lower price and then needing to add more money. Next, redesign your emails. I don't know when was the last time you did it, but definitely try to add some more real-time marketing. You can use Wix templates or any other way, but make sure that when you do your Halloween sale, the emails are relevant for that. Next is the unboxing experience. This is one of the coolest things about e-commerce, and I think you can easily improve it. Look into it, see if the boxes are right, see if you can add a handwritten note, do things that will surprise your shoppers. It doesn't take a lot of effort, and not enough online stores do it. So here's a way for you to make sure you can promote your branding, promote the shopping experience at the same time. Next, this is also part of the shopping experience, is shipping. Make sure it remains under 48 hours from order to the doorstep of the shopper. We've done some internal analysis on what our top merchants do that others don't. And one of the things they do is they keep shipping under 48 hours. If I'm not mistaken, they average 41 hours. So I think that's the window where customers are expecting it, and that's when you should deliver it. Next one is refunds and customer care. Obviously, when people are shopping online and they're going to shop more than they planned, they're also going to send some of it back. So this is part of the game. Make sure you put it in your business plan. Make sure they receive an excellent treatment when they do it, because this is your chance to you may have lost that specific fight in a way, but if you're kind and treat it right, they will come back again. So you will have gained a customer, and that's more important than that specific sale. And lastly, if you're going into more than one geo, add a currency converter so shoppers can, you can display prices in their local currency. This improves conversion a lot, and everyone prefers to buy in the currency that is native to them. Next up is adapting to the changing consumer behavior. So obviously, we mentioned COVID has changed many things. I would say everything even. Three things to look into. One, look to drop shipping to find more products to sell to your audience. You don't have to develop, new product lines on your own. You can see what's already out there and how you can plug it in to your online store and offer it to your audience. Next, offer curbside pickup. This is great, especially if you're selling locally. Curbside pickup, we've seen tremendous amount of people doing this. Shoppers feel safer to come and pick it up rather than going to the whole somebody visits your door and kind of scares you with the pandemic they're carrying with them. And lastly here, and this again goes to the shopping experience, if something isn't working in your supply chain, communicate with your shoppers personally. Pick up the phone and talk to them, let them know what happened, give them the personal treatment, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it in the long run. Next up is expanding your target audience. So most shoppers sell mostly on their online stores. I mean, most of the Wix merchants, but you can sell on more channels like eBay, which is already open, and Amazon, which is coming really soon. And we have a webinar on selling on the different channel. You should expect a higher refund rate on those platforms. One, the platforms are way more, they lean more towards the shopper whenever there's a complaint. And two, that's just the way people feel comfortable to do there. And next up is you can sell to more geos with multilingual and with currency converter. You should expect higher shipping costs. That almost goes without saying that as you send things, across the border or across the pond even, things will be more expensive. So just take it into account and make sure your pricing supports that. And pricing, we can go immediately to planning your budget. So one, you have to understand that it's going to require a lot of investment this season that is coming. And investment means either committing your money or your time. I'm not sure, people often feel that their time is cheaper, but that's not always the case, especially as you start selling more and more. So in order to rise above the competition, make sure you have social promotions and a budget for them. Make sure you're getting influencers to mention you. Either you yourself approach them or have somebody do it for you. And obviously, when you're doing ad campaigns, if you are seeing good results, keep increasing the budget and you'll reap the rewards afterwards. Ad campaigns are great for getting first-time shoppers. And then when you have them, it'll be easier for you, obviously, to make them a repeat shoppers. That's your target. But make sure, as long as the ROI is positive, spend more money now, and you'll be able to reap the rewards throughout in the next year. So that's about it in terms of the marketing strategies that we offer. Obviously, there's a lot to say here on each and every one of those line items that we've specified here. Sorry, Melissa,
Awesome.
let me hand it over for some Q&As from the audience that we've had.
Awesome. First, I just want to mention real quick, I forgot to mention, we do have a wonderful, amazing contest going on. Just drop your marketing or holiday tip in the comments in the comment section below. 5 people that we choose are going to be winning an Ascend package. So if you have any insights or tips that you want to share with the community, definitely do that. We definitely can't wait to hear your insights. Asaf, thank you so much. That was a lot. I know that I am a queen of definitely. I love a good unboxing video. I love, I'm a sucker for ad campaigns. I know that I've personally bought many e-commerce products off of that. So thank you so much for sharing those. We dabbled a bit in marketing strategy. I'd love to, Lavandra, I would love to hear a little bit about how you're planning to the upcoming holiday season in terms of marketing.
Absolutely. One of the key things, and the first thing that Asaf mentioned in regards to preparing for the season, is learning your data. And for me, data is very important. So some of the key things that I have already implemented, because as he stated, you have to do these things early on so that you're prepared and ready for the season, is adding those pixels to your website. Wix makes it really simple and easy. And what that pixel does is it recognizes and tracks all of the traffic to your site. You can track based on what page they go to, based on what action they execute. If you get a lead off of that person, you're able to capture that information. And that helps you with retargeting and reaching back out to those people and promoting yourself to those people. So data. I can't stress that enough. Another thing that, we are heavy on is press releases, just staying connected with those people who talk to your consumer and talk to your demographic. And so for my brand, it's a lot of beauty editors. So I am keeping them informed, sending them press releases of what we're offering. If we have any promotions, any specials, any new products, because people love to hear about these things, and even holiday bundles. That typically goes over really well with my particular demographic. And I think it will translate into any market that you're in. People love bundles. It makes it so much easier when they're shopping. You want to take as much of the guesswork out of it as possible. So we do a lot of bundlings, just yet again, looking at our data to see what do people buy the most of, and if possible, how can we bundle this and maybe introduce them to another high performing product that we have, so that we can retain that customer and expand what all the products that they carry with us. So those are some of the key things, that we do. Emails. I am a upgraded Wix Ascend customer, so I rely heavily on the emails. And actually, I typically up my email plan during the holidays, because another key thing is that you have to be consistent with staying in front of your customer. When we think about every time we log into our phones or into our apps, you're seeing, so many different ads and so much content that it's easy for your customer to forget about you, because they're constantly seeing, so much stream of other stuff. So I try to stay in front of my customers as much as possible, just talking to them, showing them what we have to offer. And ultimately, the selling point is how can what you offer benefit them? So that is the approach that we have. It's very data intensive and drilling down into that data and targeting that target customer.
That's great. I also, what you said about email marketing, I can totally relate to as far as the consumer, from a consumer's perspective, because, I have a toddler at home. You kind of, you put something in you go to buy something, you put it in your cart, and a lot of times you get sidetracked, and
right.
with having an email marketing, like, it's key for someone like me, especially during the times of COVID, because you're like constantly like an octopus trying to manage a bunch of things, and having an email marketing campaign of like having someone get a quick email, hey, you left something in your cart. That reminder for me, it really, like, it does it every time for me. I never like, I always I'm like, push purchase. So definitely it's very key, and especially during these times, and especially during the holiday season.
Yes.
Dania, like, I know that you're a Wix partner, so I know you work with many different clients. How are your clients preparing differently this holiday season? Are there any special requests you're getting, or anything that like requests you're getting that you haven't gotten since before, let's say, COVID-19?
Absolutely. Today is the first day of October. So many of my clients are actually starting right now. With everything that's going on with COVID, I'm based in the United States. So COVID has actually even impacted our mail. So the challenges that my customers are facing is actually with order fulfillment. Are they going to be able to get their products to their customers quickly? Which is why we're starting early, because so many other merchants are starting as soon as they possibly can. A majority of consumers are predicted to shop online this holiday season. It's going to be a digital shopping experience from here till 2021. So be unapologetic about starting your strategies early, getting your products out early, because you don't want to start on the latter end when there's a backlog of shipping and order fulfillment to go out. So the sooner you can get in your customer space, like Lavondra's saying with the email marketing, staying on top of that inbox, getting in on the forefront on your customer's mind so they can remember you as a merchant to complete that purchase, the better.
For sure. Do you think that there's, like, with the change of how people shop right now during the pandemic, do you think there's like what's the best way to stand out against your competition or your competitors?
So Lavondra made a really good point when she said consistency. That's the only way you're going to stand out. Consistency. My inbox right now, there are companies who are unapologetic about sending me an email every day to pick up where I left off, whether that been I've shopped on their, on their website before or anything. Consistent strategies on your mediums, whether that be email, whether that be your social media. People can shop on Instagram and check out directly through your Wix website, whether that be on Facebook. Anywhere you are, you want to double down on that and consistently deliver your product across that board.
You're absolutely, I again, as a consumer, like, consistency, key. Like, if I'm always, like, we're home, we're working from home, we're on social media, we're, juggling kids, pets, and everything. Like, the more I hear about your product, or the more that I feel that you haven't forgotten about me, I'm not going to forget about you. So that's definitely a good tip.
Yeah, the Wix marketing features makes it really easy for you to stay consistent because everything's in one place. So I know that's coming up and people are wondering, how am I going to do this? Wix makes it super easy. As soon as you log into that dashboard, you can send your emails, do everything you need to all in one shot.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that you're experiencing like that it's easy and that it's good for you. Before I hand it off to Asaf again to hear a little bit more about those Wix features, I wanted to remind everyone, drop those holiday tips, holiday sales tips, holiday marketing tips in the comments. We will be choosing 5 people to win 1 year Ascend package. Don't miss out. So we'll be looking. We're checking each comment, and we can't wait to hear all of your tips. Asaf, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Wix eCommerce, what's the marketing features that we have available to our merchants?
I will in a second. I just have another question for Lavandra. I mean, we'll show some of the
Sure.
the platform options, but one thing that is very difficult to do with a product is to get PR. You mentioned before that you work a lot with that. Do you do it personally, or do you hire like a PR professional to do it for you?
No, I actually do it myself. Of course, because my branding is in background, or my background is in branding. I've had some years of experience with just interacting with writers and just figuring out and honing in on the best way to get them to talk, about my brand. And so that was actually a large part of my brand strategy when I launched my company, was to get as many editors and beauty editors talking about my product as possible, because it does a few things. Number one, it pushes a lot of substantial traffic your way because they typically have sizable platforms, but also it lends a sense of credibility to your brand when your potential consumer sees that, the editors of Elle or Essence or Cosmo magazine, when those people are talking about your product, it gives you a certain sense of credibility. And so I've done that all myself. I will not kid you and say that it is easy. You will oftentimes not get a response. You may get a response of, no, maybe it's not a good fit. But again, with anything else in your brand, you have to be consistent. And you also have to pitch your brand to relevant conversations. So, now is a great time with the holidays approaching because all of these editors are looking for content. One of the key things that they really look for are deals. Everyone wants a deal. So if you have a great deal and it matches up with the demographic of the community that they write for, that's a perfect in, to hop on social media, maybe comment, just kind of introduce yourself, authentically engage with them. That's another key aspect, is that you have to be authentic, and it just can't be like, oh, please, I want you to write about me. But authentically engage in their posts and learn about what it is that they write. And from there, kind of pitch yourself, whether it be through a DM, just introducing yourself, or maybe asking for a formal email address so that you can send that official pitch email. So yeah, I have done it all myself.
Very cool.
You should be super proud. Like, you're doing an amazing job for sure.
Yeah, and Rona will expand on it a little bit later on. Let me take us back into the marketing tools and features that Wix offers. So many of them are obviously under the Ascend suite of marketing tools and automations. We'll show some of them a little bit later on. These are the most essentials one, or definitely start with those. So let's start with ranking high on Google. That's always the best ROI you'll get. The Wix SEO Wiz allows you to do it in a few simple steps. You'll make sure all your online store is ready to start ranking and then improving. And obviously it requires a little bit of content as well and more operations, but this will give you the initial setup. And at least for us, free traffic from people who are looking specifically for products such as yourself is always going to have good conversion rates and a high return on investment. Another very cool feature is the social posts. You can easily create social media posts on Wix. We have templates, and it's kind of in the same way of dragging and dropping and adding a little bit of text, and you're good to go. And these two, both the SEO Wiz and social posts, are great for getting traffic into your store and first-time shoppers. It doesn't require any prior engagement with your store or your brand for you to do that. And so definitely get those up and going, set up, and start driving traffic to your store. Facebook ads is something we'll elaborate in a few minutes. This is a pretty cool and unique feature that Wix is offer. So you can create results-driven Facebook and Instagram campaigns, and the Wix artificial intelligence keeps optimizing them. Again, you don't have to have existing shoppers for you to target. I think, as always with AI, artificial intelligence, it's always good to start once you already have a few sales under your belt, so the algorithm can identify the right audience and create lookalikes, and then start optimizing them. And so I think this is sort of the bridge between first-time shoppers and repeat shoppers. And then email marketing, this one obviously goes not necessarily only for repeat shoppers, but definitely to people who have already visited your online store and left you their contact information. You can promote products with beautiful emails. You can make it super relevant for specific holidays or events, and we'll show a couple of the templates in a minute. Again, this is only for people who have already at least visited you once and preferably shopped once. So these are the basic things that you want to be sure you have set up on your store, especially as we're gearing up towards a very busy holiday season. Now some more advanced features. So we have advanced SEO. So when I was discussing things earlier, it's a little bit, it's across the board for everyone who is online. These are more specific for e-commerce. So you can manage your meta tags, canonical, and SEO patterns, which allows you to promote your product pages on Google. So people, when they look for stuff, they get immediately into your product page. You do not have to go to your homepage or any other of the related content. Tracking and analytics, Wix has really, provides now a wide array of reports that allows you to understand both traffic, sales, geos, devices, and many other things that you really need to spend some time. And with analytics, as Lavondra, as you mentioned, one, I love it, and I can lose myself for hours there. But the insights you will get will make your business much better, and will make everything that you do, from campaigns to a more broader business strategy, much more effective. Next up is marketing automation. Melissa, you mentioned you're a sucker for those abandoned cart recovery email. So that's a great example, and probably the most basic one for e-commerce. Once a customer abandons their cart, and this happens in 4 out of 5 carts. So this reminder helps us stay in front of their eyes, as Lavondra said, but also entice them and to complete their purchase. But it doesn't end there. I mean, you can have more triggered emails. You can invest time and make sure the thank you emails are proper, and also invite them to come back and see more stuff. And obviously we have the Wix app market has a lot of third-party marketing tools. I don't want to go there. There's a bunch of them. Some of my favorites are SalesPop, which sort of provides fear of missing out by saying other people are looking on this product right now, or somebody just purchased it. But there's a bunch of them for email marketing and for others as well. So it's great to go and do some research, go over the reviews, make sure it's right for your type of business. And once you do, make that choice, connect it to your store, and start selling more. So where do you find most of these features? I'll just go into the dashboard of one of our demi stores. So, if you scroll down, this is the marketing home, and this is the Ascend business tools. Ascend, of course, is a Wix brand that hosts all of the marketing and automations. So once you start scrolling down, you'll see all of the recommendations here. If you want to create email campaigns, you already have existing templates. For example, Halloween is next up for the big newsletter that you're sending out. You can just choose and start from the templates that we're providing, and you can have some tips, social posts. Everything is in here in your store dashboard. I'll just show you how to get here. You have marketing and SEO. Just click on marketing home, and you're here. So definitely go there once you have a plan going on and start executing it using the Wix features. Back to the presentation. A quick snapshot. This is obviously somebody who's doing flash sales, so you can see, the high peaks and then the intervals in between. Not every e-commerce business graphs look like that. A lot has to do with how you do your business, how you conduct things and promotions. And again, I'll just browse through it. You can see the top referring sites, the visitor retention, which is new and which is coming back. Plenty of insights for you to understand who your audience is and come up with a game plan for them, which products are selling and which are the customers with the most. I won't spend a lot of time on this. Again, for analytics, there is no shortcuts. You have to dive into the data, understand your shoppers. And I just want to add one more thing here before we go into the QA. Analytics is great for quantitative insights. Also come up with a way to get some more qualitative insights. This means typically speaking with your shoppers, speaking with people in your supply chain. There's a lot of information there, and you really want to take it into account as you plan for inventory, as you plan for shipping, as you plan with new promotions for your audience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Asaf. Before we head into the Q&A, I just want to say that we do see your comments. We do see the questions and tips regarding influencers. Rona's going to be joining us here in a second, and she'll be able to kind of dive in and tackle those questions. So stay tuned and stay tuned, basically. And another thing, I just want to kind of give a shout out to one amazing tip that I saw in the comments. Someone mentioned that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and kind of giving a tip of donating a portion of your sales to either like helping to find a cure or to the Breast Cancer Awareness Society. And I think that's amazing. So definitely, like, that is an amazing tip, and I really thank you for it. Personally, it hit home, so thank you for sharing that. Keep those coming. Keep those coming. We want to hear more tips. We want to hear more holiday sales tips, marketing tips. We're watching, so please feel free to drop them in the comments. Asaf, again, thank you so much for kind of doing a review of the Wix marketing features. Lavandra, I have another question for you. How do you promote your store on social media? We talked about various marketing features, but I'd love to hear how you personally are promoting your store on social media.
Sure. Well, one aspect of my brand, again, is the consistency aspect. So I like to make sure that everything I'm putting out is cohesive, from the brand coloring to the brand messaging. But something that really works and does not require a lot of effort from you, the retailer, because sometimes we get stuck. We get these creative blocks because you're continually posting and creating content, and you just get stuck. Sometimes you don't know what to post or what to say. So we also implement what we call customer-driven content. And that's just encouraging your customers to post their products, post reviews, post photos, anything that relates to your brand and that will help to sell whatever product or feature it is that you have to offer. So that has been a really great thing for us as far as promoting. So customer-driven content. We also utilize social media advertising. So our fall campaign will begin on October 15th. And in that, we'll go ahead and begin our fall and our holiday promos at the same time. So we rely heavily on advertising as well. So those are the two most effective aspects of promotion for us on social media, is just the advertising aspect as well as the customer-driven aspect of it, because people are used to receiving promotional messages and advertising from us, the retailers. But when someone else speaks on how great your brand is, it resonates with them a little more. It doesn't feel as much like a sales pitch when someone shares their testimonial. So that's another aspect of customer-driven content, which can include many things. When we send out our products in the packaging, we have a little insert that just politely asks, our customers, and it tells them, hey, we know you're going to love these products and we would love for you to share them and tag us. And so they typically do that. And we even have that as one of our email automations. So within about 15 days of them receiving their package, they get an email reminder about that as well to say, hey, what are your thoughts on this product? We have a page on the site where they can leave a review. And there's a disclaimer there that says, hey, we may share this to our social media. Would you like to include a photo? And most of the times they do. And so that is, a part of us promoting on social media. So the customer driven content paired with the advertising has really done well for us.
That's awesome. Honestly, I think, people trust people. And what you're saying, it's absolutely true. You can say something, but when another person comes and says, hey, listen, this cream did wonders for me. It's amazing. Immediately you trust it. People trust people. And yes. I think that's a great tip to give people is, to politely ask. I mean, I know when I love a product, if someone says, hey, if you love it, share it. I'm all about the sharing. If I love something, I'm bound to tell my friend, I'm bound to tell my mom, I'm bound to tell, my team at Wix for sure. So that's definitely an amazing tip. You touched on advertising. I'd love to hear from Dania. Again, you're a Wix partner. When do you think you should begin advertising? We touched a bit with Lavandra, but I'd love to hear your perspective. When do you think you should begin advertising? Is there a specific day of the week that's better promoting for sales, or is it kind of different for every merchant? What's your perspective on that?
Actually, you just touched on it. It's different for every merchant. It all depends on when your people, your customers are shopping. And the only way to find that out is to either ask them by getting that qualitative data, by either doing a survey or asking for feedback, or actually just looking at their activity, looking at their analytics. When are they shopping? And another thing to consider is how your competitors are influencing your customers' purchasing decisions. When are they speaking to your customer as well? Because you're going to have shared customers with your other competitors. So it's good to see when your customer shops, and it's good to see when your competitors are also running their ads. So you can see what day of the week, which for me, in my industry, the best day of the week for me is a Tuesday and a Thursday. For some people, shopping may be best for their customers on the weekends. So you want to research, and when you do, I say right now, based on the current state of affairs, start before you're ready. Get started as soon as you possibly can, as soon as you have all your data put together.
That's amazing insights. It's so true. Everyone is very different, and getting that data is key. One thing I just wanted to quick shout out. I saw that there was a comment about gift cards. Stay tuned. It's coming. So I can't give you an exact date, but I see your comment and it's coming. So hold on and bear with us. It's definitely on its way. Next, we're going to be talking about enhanced online presence. Asaf, would you like to tell us a little bit about, how to enhance your online presence?
Sure. So it all starts, let me rephrase it. When we talk about online presence, there's own media, which is pretty much your website or your online store and your email. Those are your email list. Those are yours for you to do whatever you want. You pay for that. You pay for the e-commerce platform, and they typically come with email solutions, or you can plug in a different one that you're working with. But then there's social media and things that you want to pay for or you want to earn. So definitely a Facebook business page. We see the example here in front of us. And I don't think there's a legitimate e-commerce business that can stay away from Facebook and Instagram. It doesn't have to be like your main channel, but you do have to remain in front of everybody put more content there, put your products there, generate some interest for people who never knew you existed. So Facebook and Instagram are great for that. And obviously there are various, social media channels that are super relevant for different audiences. So as the younger you go, you'll probably go with, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Those would be the weapons of choice. And for the older generations, maybe Facebook and some of those more traditional ones, you can always speak on online presence. It's stuff that is also away from social media. So we can look at, online publications. It could be super relevant. Lavondra, you touched upon it in terms of, beauty and all those things. So you really have to know where your audience is and what they're reading. And one second.
Asaf, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm sure Danya has something to add to this. I know that you have a plethora of clients that are dealing with this daily. I'm sure making sure that their online presence is booming and secure. Can you add to this? Like what would you recommend as far as that? How can you enhance your online presence as a business owner?
I would say in one word, engagement, engagement, engagement. Customers absolutely demand personalized engagement. If they feel confident that this business understands them truly, on a social aspect, they're far more likely not only to buy from you, but to be a returning customer. So if you're going to be using Facebook Business or Instagram, you want to engage in the comments, answer those questions, say hello. Also, make the process as seamless as possible as it comes to your brand and the consistency. You want to make the experience as similar to your website as you possibly can, right? Or if you can't utilize all the tools, you can actually connect. There's ways to connect your website to these social media pages, like Instagram, for example, where if you were to connect the feed on your website to that profile, customers can directly, scroll on their timelines, tap on that product and complete the checkout. So you still get the sale. But if you're going to utilize social media handles, you absolutely have to engage. The algorithm loves people that speaks back to their people as well. So you'll most likely get more viewers as there's more relevance, more people talking and doing activity on your page.
For sure. I mean, we talked a little bit about marketing strategies, social media, tools that we can use. How do you drive traffic that converts? Amit, I'd love for you to kind of jump in. I know that you're the go-to, you know your stuff as far as driving traffic that converts.
Cool. So
why don't I just hand it off to you?
Thank you. So I'm actually super excited to introduce you guys to one of our newest and I would say most effective marketing tools, especially nowadays and when it comes to the holiday season. I think this one is really definitely the go-to when it comes to your marketing initiatives. So I'm going to talk about Facebook ads. Basically, the product lets you easily, in just a few easy steps, create a campaign on Facebook and Instagram. So it seems super simple, but in fact, what we do is we have this, like Asaf spoke about it, we have an algorithm that basically does all the work, all the technical work behind the scenes to make sure that your ads get seen by the most relevant people. So I'm going to talk about how it works. So it starts with the ad that we're creating for you. So it's all synchronized and there's a really seamless process for the user when it comes to creating the ad. We take all the information about the store products directly from the Wix site and easily create this carousel ad that showcases all the different products. I must say that it seems like a simple carousel, but it's a dynamic ad. What it means is that each person on Facebook and Instagram will see a different variation based on their interests and interactions with this ad. And this really what makes it work and what makes it convert. And again, the process is super simple. In just a few easy steps, you can launch your campaign. You can see that in terms of the audience, that's one of our biggest, I would say, the biggest added value. So usually when you create a campaign yourself on Facebook or Instagram, you really need to invest in finding the best audience and making sure you do a lot of testing to get to that audience that converts. And we, like I said, built this algorithm that does it behind the scenes, 24 hours, and creating different audiences based on, so there's lookalikes, which is people who are similar to people who've already showed interest. Or if it's a remarketing audience, so based on specific actions that were done on your site, we can later on showcase the ad again to those people and make sure that they come back and complete their purchase. So this algorithm does it all the time and tests all these different audiences and basically allocates the budget in the smartest way to get you sales. So that's really amazing. In terms of the budget options, you can choose from an $80 campaign a month up to $1,000 campaign. And it runs automatically every month until you decide to stop. And of course, everything is done on the Wix platform. So starting from the setup up until monitoring and understanding your stats, it's all in our platform. You don't need to go anywhere. So you can see here the dashboard, which is available both on desktop and in the Wix app, where you can see the different statistics, understand how your ad is performing, what is your return on investment when it comes to the ad, which is a super important KPI. And you can easily edit the campaign or end it from the dashboard. And it's just super easy. And we want you to not really have to work a lot. We want you to focus on your business, especially now when you have a lot to do. So this really takes out all that headache, time, expertise that you need to have. And that's what we're hoping to help our users with.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
A couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Hold on, Melissa.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions for Amit. Obviously everything with paid media on Facebook costs money. So this is not a free feature, but what's the lowest tier that you can try out and see how things work?
Okay, definitely. So the lowest tier is starting from $79 a month. I have to say that we chose these budgets based on a lot of research and testing that we've done on users to see what's the most effective ad budget. And we found that this is pretty much the minimum that you should use in order to start seeing results. And remember that it's a monthly budget. So we allocate it throughout the month. And when you think about it, it's not a lot of money on a daily base. And this is really the minimum you need to have in order to start seeing results. It's a campaign that we recommend that runs for at least a month, because that's when we can, really learn, optimize, collect data, and then get to that most relevant audience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amit. We had a question from the audience of what's the best way to test Facebook ads. You kind of covered it. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yes.
What's the best way? Okay.
I'll just say that you don't really need to test because we do it for you. So that's really important to understand that usually you would like to do it yourself. And I think that's the most important part of paid advertising. And in our case, it's really just, I would say, set and forget. You just let us do the hard work. Of course, we want you to come back and track your campaign and see that it's doing well. But we constantly work on optimizing this algorithm to make sure it will get the best results.
Amit, do you test a single product, or does it run across your entire product gallery?
So you can either choose specific products or just keep your entire store catalog. Everything is automatically synchronized. So in case where one of your products goes out of stock, it will automatically sync with the ad. So it's really easy and simple. You can also choose to just promote specific products.
That's incredible. That's so incredible because Wix, Facebook ads can be extremely complex, and this is your real money, your currency, and people have been burned hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on not setting up, optimizing, constantly going back to check their Facebook ads. So that really takes a lot of pressure off of you as a small business owner, so you can just focus on running your business. This is an incredible tool. I really love that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so we've talked about marketing strategy, we talked about social media, we talked about Facebook ads. I think that the best segue would be PR. Lucky for us, we have Rona, who's leading PR for Wix.com. So Rona, why don't you hop in here and tell us how to start your first PR campaign?
So I think that there are many things that you could do with PR, and just like we discussed here, you could write a press release and send it to the relevant people. But I would try something different in addition, not instead. Nowadays, during COVID, local people want to help local businesses. It's like everyone knows that it's a difficult time for everyone and you want to help them. For example, if I have a neighbor and I know that she sells cakes, I will want to go and buy cakes from her. So what I think you should do is you should spread the word, just like some of the comments here that you were saying and some of the tips. Spread the word, tell your family, tell your friends, tell people who are close to you that you have a product, share it with them, and then they will share it with their friends and they'll share it with their family. And before you know it, you'll be getting lots of leads without even doing so much work, because it's word of mouth. And if you have a good product and it's and like you were talking about unboxing and it has a catch to it and it's a high level, then people will admire it and they'll want to help you. So that's one thing I would do. And the second thing I would do is ask them to tag on Instagram. Because if I live in a small town and I want a certain product and then I see someone selling that product in this town, I'll go check it. I'll go buy it from them. And that leads to local influencers. Every place has their local influencers. If it's like kids' toys, then you'll always have these blogs and mom blogs, and that they'll want to like feature these toys. So all you have to do is give it to them, and then they'll feature it, and then they'll tag you, and then you'll see how people come back to you. Another way to do that is through Facebook groups and community forums. For example, my kids go to school. My neighbor bakes those cakes. So for the next holiday to buy all teachers these cakes, and they said yes. So basically, I really helped my neighbor. I really helped the local business. And now the whole town knows about her and everyone's buying from her. And it's so great to see. So this is another like side of PR, not the traditional PR, but if we want to take this.
Rana, I think we have some internet connection difficulties. All right, let's give Rona a minute. Yeah, let's give her a minute to reboot the network. Lavondra, you spoke about it a little bit before when you reach out that you have experience. What would be a good tip for first timers who reach out to, local news editors or online publications to help them sort of get that first email across?
I think one of the key things that you want to remember is to not so much approach that pitch email from the perspective of what they can do for you, but you want to approach it from a perspective of how you meet a need of their target demographic and their customer base. The people that they're already talking to have a need and your product fits within that mold. So when you pitch to them, you want to consider that, and that's what you want to highlight. Of course, you want to introduce yourself, offer to send them the product to try it out themselves. But then also you want to make sure that you have all of your follow-up materials in place, because should they decide to write about you or inform people about you, this is where that brand consistency part comes in. Once they review the pitch email, they're going to go to your website to see exactly what it is that you're selling. And the brand needs to be consistent and cohesive. So it needs to be clearly spelled out what you're offering. You need to have great product images, because they're going to need some type of photo to help promote your product. So you don't want to get to that point of, gaining their interest, but then you lose them because the brand messaging is not consistent. The imagery is not consistent. So again, always approach from the concept of, I can feel a need to your potential demographic that you're speaking to, or what I'm doing is a great fit for this season. If you see them talking about any particular topics and you feel that your brand would really go well with that, then just introduce yourself politely. It doesn't have to be super formal. They understand that you may not be a PR representative, but at the same time, be as professional as you can. And just carry that conversation so that it is authentic and not just from a standpoint of, I want you to do something for me.
I
That's a
totally
very good point.
agree with that.
Rona,
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
I was saying I totally agree with that, and I think that's a great point, especially about images. You could take images by yourself, even with your phone, and make them look good. You just have to have like a background, do it even on like a white table or something, and take like 50 images of this or 50 pictures and choose the exact right one. Because it's very, very important what you present. You're presenting yourself. An image of your product is who you are. So really you should make an effort. And this is something you could totally do by yourself if you don't have the resources to get like a professional person to take the images.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. It's amazing insights. This whole webinar is chock full of so much information and so many tips and tricks. We're kind of running short on time. We were actually going to do a live review of 2 Wix stores, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. So we'll definitely do that next time. So thank you to those 2 merchants for sending us your websites. We will do it, we promise. But unfortunately we're just short on time this time. We're going to kind of dive in again real quick before I dive into the last Q&A. If you have those last minute tips or last minute questions, pop them in the comments. We'll be revealing the 5 merchants who won the Ascend package very shortly. So if you want to kind of get in, now is the time. Or if you have a last minute question, please pop it into the comments. And I'll be sure to ask our merchants and our experts if we can. Let's see. So we have Asaf. What would you recommend someone that is just starting out as far as marketing? Is there a specific tool that is the go-to, that is the first tool that they should implement?
Definitely, I would go with the SEO Wiz. You want to, first off, it's a one-time thing. So whatever you do then, you will reap the rewards for many weeks coming. And I also think and this touches on what Lavandra said, whatever you do otherwise, however you communicate, whether it's on social, word of mouth, Facebook groups, anything that you do, people will eventually go to your online store, and with proper SEO techniques, your store will also look better, and it will help you build trust with people who have never heard of you. And this is the first time that they arrive at your doorstep. So definitely this would be the first one that I do. And once everything is set up and I'm confident it works well on mobile, I see it, everything is legit, then I would definitely pour some money into Facebook ads and trying to actively drive some more traffic, getting the first sales out of the way.
For sure, that's a good point. And Lavandra, coming from a merchant's perspective, is there any one piece of advice that you would give someone, that you would even give yourself when you were just starting out, when you're building your business?
Absolutely. And this is somewhat broad, but it can be broken down into so many tiers that fall underneath it. And what I always tell people is to consider your customer's journey. And that sounds super broad. And I think sometimes being a retailer, we kind of develop this one track thinking because all we're thinking is sell, sell, sell. Let me get you to my website and I want you to buy something. But you have to take that hat off and think from the perspective of your customer journey. So it starts with, of course, your brand consistency because you want them to get to a point where they can easily recognize your brand, they easily recognize your packaging or your logo. So that is the first part of your customer journey. But then also there's so many other aspects that you can implement to guide your customer along the journey. And I think that's where a lot of us miss the mark is that we don't guide our customer. So if you think about it, your customer has gotten to your website. And especially if you are a site that offers several different products or services, they get there and they're like, okay, what next? What do I buy? There's so much here. I don't know what I need. So those things like an opt-in list. So when they get to your website, maybe they opt into the site. And from there, you can start the conversation piece, welcoming them to your website. And one great thing that I really utilize the Wix automations for is my customer journey. So when they opt in, I send them a welcome. Maybe a day or two later, I send them something just saying, start here. If you're lost, you don't know what to do, you don't know what you need, start here. Maybe highlight your best sellers, thank them for subscribing. We mentioned before, if they add things to their cart, which they normally do, because as all of us are virtual shoppers now, people tend to have 5 or 6 tabs open from different stores with things in their cart. And like you mentioned, they'll walk away from it, not intentionally, but just forget. So, part of that customer journey is following up, sending those emails. Hey, you left something in your cart. Doing even more than one follow-up saying, hey, did you not purchase because maybe you don't have a coupon code? Here's 10% off. And then once they've purchased, thanking them, following up, asking for a review. And this is where you can get that qualitative data. Not every review may be a glowing or raving review. This is the opportunity for you to offer product education. Maybe they bought the wrong thing and what they got doesn't work for them. So you can use that data to further educate your customer. And that customer is typically going to stay with you a lot longer and be a repeat customer. So that is my one key tip. Always consider and think of your customer's journey, and it will make a world of a difference. There's so many back-end apps and gadgets and add-ons that you can utilize via Wix to speak to that customer journey and guide them on that path.
Absolutely. We actually are kind of running over time a bit, but we have one last question I want to ask us off from one of the comments and one of you amazing people online. Will Apple Pay be a payment option by holidays 2020?
So the official answer is that as a public company, we can't commit to deadlines on features. I do want to say that, we read a lot of the reviews and the feature requests from our merchants, and we're working hard to deliver the more important ones. This one is coming soon, hopefully before the holidays. And so, again, we can't commit, but I can promise you they're working days and nights and weekends and on the holidays. No, I'm kidding. But they're working hard in delivering this. And specifically Apple Pay, we all know that the Apple universe is the best shoppers on the planet, and we definitely want to open an easy way for them to pay for Wix merchants.
Awesome. By the way, we do work on weekends. I'm just kidding. All right. So the moment you've been waiting for, we went through all of your tips in the comments. There were so many amazing ones. Honestly, if we could choose you all, we would. We do have 5 merchants that are going to be winning a year of Ascend package for their holiday tips. We have Cheryl Auger, Carrie Cowart, Vicente Graciano, Jiki Nikki, Ailita Pil. You guys, your tips were amazing, and you will be winning an Ascend package. Thank you so much for everyone that submitted. Definitely check your Facebook Messenger for the coupon code. We'll be messaging you personally on Facebook Messenger. So make sure that you check. If it might have went into the others, definitely check there as well. Sometimes Facebook, I don't want you to miss it, so definitely check your others. Sometimes messages kind of pop in there, but all of the details will be there. Congratulations, and thanks again for sending us your tips. Honestly, guys, this has been amazing. We've run over time, but this is like, I feel that we can go on for 2 more hours. You guys are filled with knowledge and tips, and I myself am learning tons of things, and I really appreciate everyone joining us. You guys, each of us, like Lavandra, Dania, Ronnie, Amit, Asaf, all of you are completely amazing, and I really appreciate you guys joining us and giving our community all of your insights and tips. We will be kind of wrapping things up, but I want you to know you're not alone. You can join us here on the community on the Wix e-commerce forum, as well as the Facebook group. It's Wix Stores e-commerce insiders. We also have, if you guys want more tips, we got more. Definitely head over to the holiday season action plan page. It's jam-packed with full tips and tricks, as well as all of our next events and webinars. We definitely look forward to seeing you guys again soon. If you have any more questions or you have any more tips that you'd like to share, jump on over to the forum. We'll continue the conversation. So thank you all again for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.